Hi, we're here at the Lothrop Cemetery in Barnstable, the town of Barnstable. And Lothrop Cemetery is a burying place for many of the congregation of West Barnstable Church that we visited just recently. And lucky enough for us, we do have a couple of headstones in this cemetery. We have 3 specifically. But most importantly is our 9 times great-grandmother, Hope Howland Chipman. Now, Hope was born the daughter of John Howland, who's the boy who fell off the Mayflower, and also Elizabeth Tilley, who was also on the Mayflower with John. Hope Howland was born in 1929 in Plymouth, and she was raised at her father's Rocky Nook home, which is just a few miles up the coast here from Barnstable. Well, a gentleman, carpenter by the name of John Chipman worked down here in Yarmouth and worked on John Howland's house and courted the young Hope at the time. When Hope became 17 in 1646, they got married and moved back down here to Yarmouth and Barnstable. But first in Yarmouth, where they lived, they had a child in 1647, Elizabeth, and right after that, right about 1651, they moved up to Barnstable, up in this area right here, where they had their other 7 children. The youngest child was daugher Chipman, and she married the Honorable Judge Melatiah Bourne, who became the richest man in all Sandwich, and they lived up in Sandwich, which we'll visit later on this week. And here's where they're buried. 3 Chipman ladies, or 3 Howland ladies. And first, most importantly, is Hope Howland Chipman. Here lieth interred the body of Mrs. Hope Chipman, the wife of Elder John Chipman, aged 54 years, who changed this life for a better in the year, can't read it, 1683 January. Now this headstone, by the way, the oldest known burial in this whole cemetery is 1653. But all the headstones, you can't read them. And this one here, 1683 January, is the oldest headstone in all of Cape Cod that is still actually legible in extent. So it's a very special treat here that we have Hope Howland Chipman in our family. Now Hope and John, they moved up to Sandwich in 1680, and unfortunately Hope died 3 years later and was buried back down here in Barnstable. Now Hope had 8 daughters. I told you about daugher, who became our 8 times great-grandmother. But she also had another daughter, Hannah. Hannah was her Hannah was her 4th daughter. Hannah married a man named Thomas Huckins, and when she passed away, she was buried here next to her mother and given this headstone. Over here is Hope's granddaughter, Sarah, and she died at a young age while they're still living in the Barnstable area. And so she's buried here, and her name is Sarah Chipman. So here we have the 3 Chipman ladies, Hope Howland and her daughter, and one of her granddaughters from another daughter, all buried here in Lothrop Cemetery in Barnstable, Massachusetts. Hi.